Bonjour and welcome to another episode of the ND. And for this episode, I kind of wanted to go over the things I did my junior year, senior year, and I guess I would say beyond as well. And so I started off by going to WWE Raw. I remember and have videos still on my phone of Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins' entrances. At, at this point in time, the clubs I was involved in on campus were AAA, Active Minds, ASL Club, Best Buddies, I'm a Delta Kappa, ODK for short, Stonewall Tigers Gender and Sexuality Alliance, Tiger Elites, Tigers of St. Jude, and then in the International Student Association, or ISA for short, and VSA. I later became a Rho Chi, my partner for Rho Chi for IFC, and my partner in crime was a guy named Zach Hush. And fun fact that I found out uh, about him was I found out that we are both from the same state. Go Buckeyes! Following, following that, I did a fall preview day with the admissions office. Then I went to the movies and saw X twice, which was pretty good, by the way. I remember they had in the post credit scene they had one of my favorite characters of all time, Mark Hoffman. He came back after a two movie hiatus, so that was kind of my favorite part and reason for seeing it again. I later went to my first and only one for now AEW show. The order was some tape matches for Ring of Honor, ROH for short, Collision, Battle of the Belts, both of which were live, and then finally some more tape matches for Ring of Honor. Two things that stuck out about that night was me buying a cardboard cutout of Jay White, who I pray and wish a speedy recovery as he's still dealing with an injury, and Daniel Garcia, who's still one of my top five wrestlers currently in AEW right now. And as he, as in Daniel Garcia, reposted me on his IG story. Yeah, yeah. And so I thought those were pretty good, especially for my first time going to a show. So now they just got to come back. Um, I think the last time they were kind of in the city were when they were in Mississippi. I think they were at the Landers Center. So yeah, so they haven't really officially been back to Memphis since the time I went. I attended a campus club president luncheon where I at the end got my picture with the president, and I think it was the either provost or vice provost, both of them. And I remember something that stuck out about that event was they actually spelled my name, my previous name, right on the little name card. Yeah. Following that, I went to the homecoming tailgate which was I think that weekend that Saturday at the stadium where the football players play. I went to that homecoming tailgate where I ended up getting a pic with one of my former students from TLI, which stands for Tiger Leadership Institute, who was also having to be on the cheer team. So I ended up reuniting with her and getting the picture with someone on the cheer team. Then I did another fall preview day with the Visions office, but this time I also went to Greek 101 that was Greek 101 that was also at going on that day at the same time. So basically, I did double duty that day. Around this time, I completed my second session of TLI or Tiger Leadership Institute as a facilitator. On that, I ended up volunteering for international paper, putting together emergency bags, um, and like putting the bags together. I remember, I know I still have the picture of that state on my phone. After that, I volunteered at the President's Holiday Dinner, assisting with check-in. Um, I remember, I remember they, I think I remember the food options they had there. They had steak and they had fish. I remember, I think initially I had I remember the steak they had. It was I remember being it so red, it was like bloody. And I never eat red steak because it's to me it just looks raw. And why would anybody eat that? I still don't get why people eat that. I don't think I'll never get that. So I ended up getting the fish, which is decent. It was it made me think about it now. It made me think of how like they only bring up like the good food for like the very special people, while the regular students currently get like scraps. This is like a side tangent, but I know for like for the I think we have like a cafeteria style like place called the Saga in here, and so I feel like I feel like I would say 98% of the food that is mid. But I remember I was here for during summertime at one point, and and I know they always go all out for the incoming freshmen whenever they go to the target as part of their orientation. And the food that always were was pretty good. It was like always better than how it is in the regular school year, which blew my mind. But I digress. At this point in time, the clubs I was involved in were AAA, which actually I forgot to mention this, but it stands for Asian American Association, so AAA. At the Minds, which is a club about mental health. I don't know if it's still going on now, but it was something I was involved in. As a club, Best Buddies, Omicron Delta Kappa, ODK for short, Student Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, SAN for short, Stonewall Tigers Gender and Sexuality Alliance, Tiger Elite, Tigers for St. Jude, ISA, the International Student Association, and VSA, which stands for Vietnamese Student Association. Around this time, I completed my third and final session of Tiger Leadership Institute, TLI for short, as a facilitator. And I guess this could also be like a side tangent, but I don't know like what happened. I wonder because I would say it's totally different now. And my only reason I think that it could be different is because they just didn't have enough students to lead the sessions. Because back when I was doing it, that's what it was like. Students were over the sessions over students were students were over the sessions as facilitators, and then they were kind of teaching other students. So that's my theory as to why they changed the way like the workshops worked. So I know for me, I know I did it one year, then they asked practically begged me to come back, so I did like another session. So I did it for like a year and a half. Well, actually, not a year and a half. Maybe I think it was just a year because I think I did two, two, two sessions in one semester, and then I did one session. Cause I think a session is for 6 weeks. A session is 6 weeks each, so I did two first semester. So that's and then I did one the next semester. So that's just half a semester. So it's like a semester and a half. So basically, still a full year though. Following that, I went to WWE SmackDown. WWE SmackDown, I mean, which I remember was at the beginning of the year because it was on the road to WrestleMania, and so I remember they always come every year around March or February. I think the time I went, he came in like early March, but I would say they usually come around February because I know, or maybe I think not the time I mentioned here was in March. It actually was in February, but I think other times I have went to WWE SmackDown, it has been in March. But I remember um, Jey Uso was there, and he had just won the Royal Rumble, and so I remember. So I think they always come back usually after the Royal Rumble in sometime in February. So so it's always a good time. Although I would say for a quick tangent, I don't know. I may or may not be going to like another show because I know um this time around I had classes, thankfully, but well not thankfully, but I just had classes. Well, I just had the one class, but I know they recently increased like the prices for the tickets, and so I'm still a pretty poor person, so I don't know if I can afford um even like the cheapest price for the ticket. So and I'm just going by myself, so I don't know. So that's why I'm kind of hoping like AEW or TNA comes back, so I could go back to like a wrestling show. 'Cause I really enjoyed my experiences there. After that, I attended the President's Leadership Awards and Honors Assembly, where I was awarded the Distinguished Service and Student Leader of the Year awards. The following day, I became a diversity ambassador, which was as a result of me going through 6 sessions across the semester dealing with various different topics that dealt with diversity. The week after that, I went to a senior class luncheon where I got another pick with the president, and I also got another pick with the now former head coach of the football team. I think his name was John Silverfield, but don't quote me on that. I think that's his name, but I'm not 100% sure. Lastly, for that semester, or I guess school year too as well, um, I got my certificate of appreciation from the Tiger Elite program through the admissions office for my dedication and outstanding work as a Tiger Elite ambassador, which I have been since I want to say it was uh, yeah I want to say I got accepted uh spring well yeah spring 2022, so I didn't actually start fully into well yeah because I had applied and yeah I think I talked about this in the previous episode, but I I had applied and got interviewed and got accepted into the program spring 2022, and so but I actually didn't get to really be fully in a position and taking the class until and start doing events until fall 2022, that next school year after that. And so now I went to the summertime. And so during the summertime, I saw Deadpool and the Wolverine, which was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed all the Deadpool variants and the cameos. It was a pretty good Marvel movie overall. At this point, the clubs I was involved in on campus were AAA, Black the the Black Business and Community Alliance, Omicron Delta Kappa, ODK for short, Student Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, SAN for short, Stonewall Target and Sexuality Alliance, and Tiger Elite. Following that, I did my second to last fall preview day. And then I attended my first EMOC, which stands for Empowerment of Color Men's Conference, where ended up getting some. free food and got a free headshot. So um, as well as a couple of other pitches, but it was I guess I would say it was a decent first time, I would say, for sure. And then lastly, I did my last fall preview day with the Chocolate League program through the admissions office, and then that was it for my junior year, senior year, and kind of well, I guess I wouldn't say beyond because the beyond part could be I guess I would say literally every episode uh, before this that didn't involve um, my freshman and sophomore years, and then every episode after this because this is like my last time talking about uh, how I was in the past in terms of like things I did chronologically. So yeah, and with that, that concludes this episode of the NND, and I will see you on the next episode.